Welcome to Life Lessons with the legend, Bobby Lee Jordan, live from the studios of Shanty Road University in beautiful Hartsville, South Carolina. Uh, I appreciate y'all. I just need to say that first. Anybody that views this and gives me a comment back, I love it and I appreciate it, and thank you so much for being a part of this adventure. I'm going to tell you a quick story tonight that has to do with the almighty dollar. Keep that in mind. The dollar is very important. I'm going to make a point later, but I want to tell you this story first to get us started. About 60 years ago, I was a boy. I was at my grandpa's house, and my daddy and my grandpa was sitting around. I don't know where the women folks was, but me and my grandpa and my daddy was sitting around. And as a young and about 10 or 11 years old, I certainly wasn't very interested in the topic. So I told my daddy I wanted to go over to Uncle Oscar's store. It was on the corner there out in the Long Branch community, and right next to the old Long Branch schoolhouse that Uncle Oscar lived in and owned, and he had a store there on the corner. And so my daddy gave me $1. I guess he didn't have any change. He gave me that $1 bill. I went over to Oscar's and I tried to decide what I was going to get. And I saw he had bubble gum. I believe it was Pal bubble gum. It was the bubble gum that was a cylinder shape and flat on top and bottom, twisted on both sides, and it was just the best bubble gum that had ever been made. And I gave it a little bit of thought, as a child would, and I bought 100 pieces of bubble gum. And of course, I wasn't going to chew it all at one time. I figured I had a couple months supply there, and I wouldn't have to be worrying about going and buying anymore. So I go back home in this brown paper bag, 100 pieces of bubble gum. I get back, I was over at my grandpa's, and my daddy says, "Where's my change?" And I said, "Well, there wasn't no change." He said, "What do you mean there wasn't no change?" I said, "Well, look, I got 100 pieces of bubble gum." He said, "You take that back over there and get me my change back, because you get about 5 pieces of bubble gum." So I had to trudge back over to Uncle Oscar's store. He was there leaning on the counter, grinning, waiting on me to come back in. He said, "I knew you'd be back." And so I got 5 pieces of bubble gum, and I carried my daddy back to 95 cents in change. Now, why is this important? Because back then, really, $1 was $1. And we talk about, we're always going to talk crazy stuff like that. $1's $1. $1 was worth $1 back in my day. Well, the point is, the almighty dollar, whether it's a 5, 10, 20, 50, $100 bill, is still of value to us. And what I want to tell you is this: it doesn't matter the dollar amount. It's what you do with that $1 or $50. The point is, I love to take friends, family out to eat on occasion. And as a general rule, I don't mind paying. I like to pick up the check if I can. Not to be bragging, but I'll pick up the check, because what I'm saying to my friends and family is that spending that time together, enjoying a meal together, is far more valuable to me than that $1 or $20 or $50 or $60, whatever it costs. We want to enjoy time together, because one day we're not going to have that time together. So give that some thought. If you can't afford it, try to get you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a glass of milk, and just enjoy that time with your family, sitting around, having a conversation, talking about the good old days. Any questions? No questions, good. Remember, always be kind, love one another, and for goodness sakes, Act like you got some sense.